Well, I'm in town. I like to get my head out of my home and just be in a different space. Of course, I go to the same places in town all the time anyway and just sit around. But they have something here, which is beer. And it got me thinking about a couple things. First, I should have a place at my place if I'm going to invite people that sells beer. And they probably sell it in this size of bottle because that's really efficient, and those bottles can get returned and they get reused. They don't get melted down. So this is actually an ecologically better way to sell beer. Of course, the better way would be if we brewed our own, and we'll do that. I'll set up a whole brewery. I used to brew a lot of beer back in the city, and I don't really have a place that's clean enough and set up enough to do it. It should be a specialized spot with really good equipment. It would be worth it to invest in the equipment that's better. And even beer, though, is not my main focus. I'd rather make mead, so maybe we'll just buy beer. It's not that expensive, especially buying it this way. And so I'd rather make mead. It's a more expensive product. It costs, honey's not super cheap. There are bees on the property, and I'd like to get more bees because the bees that are there aren't my bees. They're taken care of by a different guy. So one thing I noticed about this beer, though, that was really interesting is I can't drink it. It is so cold that it has ice in it, a little bit of ice. So that got me thinking about something. I'm against refrigeration, right? I don't want to spend any electricity on heating or cooling. I don't want to use it to heat things. I don't want to use it to cool things. But with any rule I come up with, we're going to make exceptions to it. They're not rules from God. They're rules I made up because they seem like a good idea. So really the question is, the question is, how do we use refrigeration correctly? And maybe we use it only in selected cases. Now in this case, I'm thinking a cold beer is awfully dang nice on a hot day. It's just pleasant. And if I bring beers home, I end up drinking warm beer. That's okay, but I got very low standards. So I can imagine one place that is a beer store, and it has a little root cellar there, and that whole root cellar is stocked with a bunch of beer, and we have a refrigeration system that feeds into it, run directly off solar. So there's no batteries involved, because batteries are the big flaw in solar power. But if all day long these solar panels are making this root cellar get really cold, like not to the level of freezing, because we don't want things to freeze and then break, because water expands when it breaks. Water expands when it gets frozen, and it will break a bottle. Also, you don't want to freeze your fruits or anything. You want to get your fruits as cold as possible because they'll last longer, but you don't want to freeze them. So you would have a temperature control, a sensor, that lets this thing get that root cellar as close to freezing as possible, but not quite freezing. So a little bit over 0 degrees Celsius, a little bit over 32 degrees Fahrenheit, And we could get beers that were so cold that you can just grab them and sell them right out of there, and that would be perfect. And maybe even move some out from the coldest place into a less colder place so they're ready to go and be sold that day or something. I don't know. I'm just trying to solve problems here, right? And root cellars are a great thing anyway. We want to have a lot of root cellars, some of them dry, some of them wet. These should have thermal mass so that they can retain that coldness, and we'll shade over them. They'll be buried, but we'll have even a shade roof above that. So even the dirt above it is colder. That sounds pretty great. Correct use of electricity with no batteries. It's starting to melt now. That's good, because I'd like to drink this beer.